Good morning, guys. It is our second day at Castaway. We're up at Cove Cafe, just getting some coffee and a little bit of light breakfast.
It's about 7 o'clock.
Yep, and we have our kayaking and walking tour at 9 o'clock. So we're gonna get some coffee here, then maybe get a little fuller breakfast in a little bit. But until then, you can see we are pulling into Castaway, maybe. I almost see it back there. Maybe we'll go outside and look at it then. Not that way. See, we're just over Castaway. You can actually see it right behind us out there. Good morning, how you doing?
Good, how you doing?
Good.
May I help you on this corner?
I'd actually like a slice of toast, please.
Which one, white or brown?
White.
How many two?
Two's fine, yeah.
Any jam or butter I can offer?
Butter, please.
This one, a jam. The selection of our jam.
Butter.
Butter, how many?
Just one.
Alright, anything else on this side?
I think that'll do me. Do you want anything?
You're fine, madam?
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. Any good tomato?
Good morning.
And how many croissants? Asparagus?
Can we get one of the croissants?
Yes, sir.
Where you now?
Any
I don't know if you
tomato?
want
Which
anything.
toast?
Any asparagus.
Hash brown, sausage.
Could we get a hash brown and sausage?
There you go. And... no problem.
Egg, bacon.
Can I get one piece of the French toast?
Yes, ma'am. For you?
Hey, good morning. Could I get just some watermelon?
Watermelon. Anything else, sir?
I think that'll do me.
Only watermelon.
Disney likes the whole world. What's your accent?
Nah, we don't do that.
All right, guys, want some steps?
sorry.
Back up. But I think right now. I mean, that way.
Like vegetation.
It's alive.
That's crazy. Sea cucumber, guys.
It looks like a big. We also use this. Fishing is like our number one source of armor. So we use this to catch crawfish.
Good call. Good call on the quick.
It makes more sense why you're standing there. You're just taking in the view up there.
The chicken sandwich?
Yeah.
Nothing from there. I will do some of the rice though.
End of the line, steaks and hamburger. And the broccoli sauce.
Good, I've got it. I think I'm good here. I might get some maybe Could I do the kielbasa? So the island is like even more dead today. I think because people just didn't get off the ship. You might not be able to hear me because The microphone on this GoPro is equivalent to, I don't know, someone's muffler on a 94 Honda that's got 200,000 miles. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Still a fair amount of people. I think as you get down though, it gets a little more dead.
Ooh, but it's not near as many as yesterday.
Yeah, there's still people out and about though.
Okay, well we'll call you later.
Alright, we're back in the room after a long morning-afternoon. We'll kind of regroup here in just a little bit and talk about what we did, talk about kayaking, all that fun stuff. But until then, we're going to enjoy these chicky tenders. Oh! Hi, Pluto.
Right there. Pluto, wait a second.
Not quite ready for you.
Good boy.
We ran into Pluto very randomly. Alright, so we're gonna go do this Mouseketeer madness. It sounds like it's like a trivia, but it's like Disney or maybe Disney history centric. So let's go see.
Might be good at it. We might not.
I don't know. Should be fun though. Well, we found where Pluto was going. Oh, and we got princesses down there too. Got a very interesting mashup going on here. So I don't know what's going on with this game, but the chairs have numbers on it, and it was important that we sat at one with a number.
Mild-mannered, modestly motivated, mysterious but magnanimous Mouseketeer. Thank you. Now, who here has watched all those game shows on TV? Well, here at Disney Cruise Line, we have magically manufactured our very own game show that we like to call Mouseketeer Madness. Now, my questions are going to be all about Disney. So that's the characters, movies, theme parks. Are we all ready to play Mouseketeer Madness? Amazing! All right, everyone, so let's turn your eyes to the screens and let's get our first Mouseketeer. Here we go. So excited, so excited. Number 8. Number 8, where are you? Hi, Pluto! All right, so families, feel free. We can get that selfie at sea moment from those tables. And once you get your picture, you can feel free to exit the D Lounge and enjoy every...
The movies tonight. It's the only 2 movies that they've been playing on the whole show. Correction, Katie reminded me that they also played Raya at least once.
Yeah, and there may have been others, but I just know that that one was also played.
Yep, but now we're headed back to the room and we're gonna get ready for Palo Dinner. dinosaur up in this joint. With some chocolate. Let's talk about the kayaking tour first.
Yeah, so we started off our day on Castaway day 2 with the walking and kayak nature tour. It was super, super fun. It was a little confusing to figure out where we were supposed to go and ended up being totally fine. We just felt like there wasn't a lot of information given to us, so we were kind of just going where people pointed us to. We ended up fine. Everything worked out the exact way it was supposed to. It wasn't what I was expecting leading up to it.
You get off and your meeting place is Marge's Barges, which is right there. It's that little port adventure desk right after you get off the ship there. And we were like, hey, we're checking in for this tour. And they're like, okay, we'll meet you at Serenity Bay.
Yeah, they checked off
further instructions.
They checked off our names and stuff, so I understand. I think Marge's Barge is the place where you check in for like every excursion, and they make sure you're there, and then they just trust that you will get yourself to Serenity Bay. But in my mind, it would almost make more sense to just have the check-in at Serenity Bay and tell us that, because it added probably 20-30 minutes to the 9 a.m. start time to the time we actually started, because every group had to make their way back to Serenity Bay. So that was the only complaint I had about the whole thing, was it was just confusing at the beginning.
Yeah, and it wasn't there wasn't oh, meet us over by the cabana check-in or meet us, by the barbecue. We kind of got lucky, and there was 2 other groups there who were like, oh, where do we meet for this kayak tour?
Yes,
and we're like, oh, us too. I guess we meet here.
Total, there were 9 other guests on the tour, and there were 2 tour guides. The tour starts at Serenity Bay, and you kind of do a little nature walk on the Serenity Bay bike walking path. If you're familiar, if you've ever, rented the bikes and gone back there, it kind of takes you out to this really pretty outlook point. Along the way, the guide points out a lot of different plants, some animals that are native to the Bahamas, gives you some backstory on them. Luckily, it's still fairly early in the day. By this point, it was probably about 9:30, 9:45, so it wasn't too hot. This was another thing, they don't tell you this in the port guide, but I would definitely suggest bringing a bottle of water with you. We were able to buy some real quick at the Serenity Bay bar there, but we weren't sure. We didn't want to bring our own stuff because we weren't sure if there was going to be a place to put your stuff once the kayak portion started. It is locked up while you are kayaking, so you can bring all of your stuff for the day and put it there. So in the future, that's what we'll do. He
talks about the plants and the wildlife. He takes you into a couple of those little areas that say do not enter, cast members only. A lot of them are just little private beach areas, but kind of let you walk around and take some pictures, just a couple different views of the Castaway area. And then you finally do get back to that outlook, and there is a little trail out there, and there was a spot, they had water out there that you could get right before you started. But you go back this little trail and you weave back, and you're on this really pristine little beach, and you can see they have kind of the kayak area set up there for you already. And you can see you're kind of in that back mangrove area where the observation tower is. The whole time we were on this tour, you could see the observation tower. You could see people going up and looking at you.
Yeah. So this part was kind of where it got, a little more exciting. You're not just walking, but they help you get life vests and kayak paddle. They help you get into the kayaks and push you off, and then you're pretty much going. They didn't give anyone too much real instruction on how to kayak, but it's not that hard, I don't think. And they're there on the water with you. I think if you really got into trouble, they would kind of help push you off and
yeah, but it wasn't hard. It wasn't rough or anything. You're not at sea or any of that. It was pretty smooth. But it was cool. You go through this very small cool mangrove thicket. Yeah. And it's you barely have enough room to get the paddle in the water. Yeah. But it was cool. It was very immersive.
Yeah, and you have this whole line of kayaks. We were in the back, so we were kind of following everyone through it. It was really cool. And you're kind of going through there to get into this more open lagoon area. And the 2 guides, while you're kayaking, they were looking out for different wildlife if they saw it to point out. I believe when we were first going out, one of the guides saw a stingray kind of out in the distance, and he pointed, and we could see kind of it moving. But you kayak around for a little bit, and then they kind of lead you over to a shallows area where they tie all the kayaks together and tie it to an anchor, and you can get out and you can walk around the shallows. And that's where we saw a lot of really cool sea life. We saw starfish, sea cucumbers, we saw some jellyfish, a bunch of other little things. They would kind of pick things up or point things out and show us.
Yeah. A couple things to note about that. I would suggest maybe wearing water shoes, especially if you're someone that doesn't like walking in the water. Yes. It is rough. There's certain parts that are kind of rocky, other parts that are sandy, and then there is like sea life and stuff growing on the bottom there. And that was one recommendation that like I didn't see anywhere on there, but I think it would definitely be good to have water shoes, because I think some people definitely weren't as fond of like kind of walking through these areas while there was sea life around them. Yes, I was not fond of that. So I would love to do this tour again, but I will definitely get water shoes to wear. But overall, it was really, really cool, that part where you got to get out. So you definitely want to wear either clothes that you're okay getting splashed, getting wet, or just, wear a swimsuit. Some people did the whole tour just like wearing their swimsuits in a cover up. Some people were wearing like shorts, t-shirts. So, you're gonna get wet and you're gonna get sandy and stuff. It's Castaway, so, just wear things that are comfortable to you. The water's not deep, but you do end up at least waist high at certain points. There are like some dips and whatnot kind of getting around there, so just watch out for that. Yeah. Another thing to note is you can bring small things with you in the kayak. Like I brought my bottle of water with me. Lake brought his GoPro. I mean, you can bring kind of whatever you want, but keep in mind it will get wet. Like there's splashes and things. After the little walk around portion, we got back in the kayaks, and we kayaked back to the starting point, but I think we had extra time. So we went kind of out the other direction into more of an open water area where we could kind of kayak around. And this is actually where we saw a very, very large stingray. Yeah, it was really cool. It was really cool. And I'm not saying that it's a plant by Disney, but this stingray was like showing off. It went kind of like around and under. Like got close to every boat. Every kayak. Like got a really good shot of it on his GoPro. And that was really cool to see. Just because we had seen other sea life, but they had mentioned that we might see like sharks or sea turtles or stingrays, and we hadn't seen anything really big at that point. And then that guy came over. It was really cool. The guides got really excited about it as well. You could tell that they really liked like the nature part of the job, because they always got really excited when they found something that was like wildlife or And they were really like, even when we were wading through the water, like they were going way out there, like just trying to find cool things for you. I couldn't figure out how they were moving so fast in this like really like uneven terrain of water, but they were really good at it. Yeah, like they were really going out of their way. Like one of them was kind of like in through the mangroves, and the other one was way off. And they were like, they were listening for us to be like, oh hey, what's this? And they would like be over there in a second. They'd be like, what'd you find? And they're really, really good. Yeah. And that part was a little, I think, more. It wasn't true open water, but it was a little closer to the open water, so it was a little more waves and splashes and stuff, which I found really fun. It was fun, but it was nothing crazy either. Yeah, no, it wasn't anything unmanageable by anyone. It was just a little more like fun. Kind of kayak back to the little kayak beach and get your kayaks back up there, and then you're done. They kind of let you leave from there, so you walk back on that closed off trail, and you get back to that Serenity Bay bike trail, and then you have to walk all the way back to Serenity. Yeah, that path is at least long. A mile. It's really long. I've only ever done it on a bike, so I didn't think about how long it was going to be to walk. Do keep in mind that there are no like bathroom facilities from the start of the tour to the end, so make sure you go to the bathroom at the beginning. Even though we did that, we were still like, okay, that is our next stop afterwards. But overall, the tour was really great. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Something different, something active that you can do on the island. It was definitely very enjoyable.
Yeah, I know one of the couples that was on the tour with us, they said this is like their third or fourth time doing the tour. And at the beginning, I was like, okay, well, that's a good sign that they're coming back and repeating it. And I think I would probably repeat it. I don't think it's like I'm going to make a point to do this every time we go to Castaway. But if you're doing a cruise where you're feeling like having an activity that's a little more active one of your mornings, I think it's a really, really nice one to do.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was awesome. It was $73 a person for those that are interested or wanted to know. One thing that was kind of nice is the tour technically started at 9 a.m. That was when we checked in up front. It didn't really start till probably like 9:45 or so in the back. But it was kind of timed out very well that once we got back to Serenity Bay, lunch had started. But we really didn't hang out on the island much more after that. We wanted to use the second day of our bike rental from Serenity Bay to get back up front. However, that little shop was closed, and I don't think it was closed the first day.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I remember seeing it open on the Saturday, the first day we were at Castaway. 'Cause when we were walking back, I was thinking like, oh, it's going to be kind of annoying to have to wait for a tram. It's too hot to walk back. I was like, oh, we can grab a bike. Perfect. And then they weren't open. So we ended up not actually using our second day bike rental. But I think we were, it's an active morning. We were kind of tired. We wanted to hang out on the ship a little bit more today.
So I think we probably mentioned before, but we did not do our rotational dining. That was supposed to be Royal Palace. Instead, we did Palo Dinner, which was a first for us. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was awesome. It was dead in there. We were the first people to go in.
Yeah. So that's kind of cool when you're the first people to walk into Palo. All the servers stand there and clap for you when you walk inside, which was very awkward for me, but also really cool. It was wonderful. I think this was my favorite Palo experience of all the ones that we've had. It was very
intimate.
Very intimate, yes. So, I mean, more people came, as we were eating, but obviously we were the first ones there seated.
By more people, it was like every other seat that was sitting right next to the window there.
Yes, they were seating like that. Those were like the preferred seats, which was really nice because last time we were on the Dream with Pal for brunch, we were back against the opposite wall, like in a little booth. So it was very, very nice to be on the water. And it seemed to be that all the servers in Palo basically just had one table that they were working with. I don't know if that is normal, having never done Palo Dinner before, but that's how it was, and I think it was really nice. Our server was absolutely wonderful. And we had like a full dinner. I mean, you did the prefix menu. So obviously he had each course. I did a la carte just because I wasn't as hungry, and I was so surprised. Even I went in thinking the portions were going to be small and I wasn't as hungry, but the portions were
big.
Very substantial. I thought they were going to be fancy tiny food portions, and that was not the case. Yeah, I loved it.
I thought it was great. They brought us our wine. Your server is a sommelier, so he can tell you all kinds of history about each wine that they're serving you, which is always super interesting and super cool. And then we did our order, and before even our first course came and they brought us like a little taster. And
bouche. That's what they're called, an amuse-bouche.
Yeah, but it was the gnocchi that they serve at the restaurant. It was like just a little cup, and it was very good.
Yeah, it was a potato gnocchi with a mushroom sauce underneath it. Very good.
Yeah, so that was cool. Something a little bit extra. And then first course, I had the fried calamari, and it was supposed to also come with shrimp, but they said they were out of the regular shrimp, so I think it was like a big prawn, right?
It looked like a prawn, and it had this interesting breading on it, and it was the biggest prawn I've ever seen in my life.
It was huge.
And then you had that, and you also had the arugula salad. They brought it at the same time because I didn't get 2 starters. I got the Tuscan white bean soup, which is fairly basic, but that's kind of what I wanted. It was just a chicken broth, a kale white bean, and it had some prosciutto, I believe, in it as well. It was delicious. It was like the perfect way to start off the meal for me.
Yeah, the calamari and shrimp was delicious. It was a lot.
It was huge.
Like, yeah.
It was I would say that was like a shareable appetizer.
Yeah, it was really full. Like, I didn't eat everything on that plate.
But our server was telling us for their calamari, they actually soak it in cream overnight and then they like deep fry it to order. And it was really good. I've actually never had calamari before. I had a bite of his, and I'm assuming not all calamari tastes that good, but it was very good.
It was good, yep. And the salad was good. It was a pretty, like, kind of basic arugula salad, but just, it was good.
A nice light way to start your meal. It had shaved Parmesan on top, and it looked really good.
Yep. Oh, yeah, they did also bring us bread and, was it Crostini's?
Yeah, so it had several different things in there. It had the hard, skinny breadsticks. I don't think either of us ate one of those. They had, I think it was like a Parmesan crostini. I think both of us just went for the last option, which was like I'm not sure exactly what it was, but it tasted like a pizza dough with like pesto and garlic on it. That's so what we ate. They were very good.
Yeah, then our main course, I did the filet. It was a 6-ounce filet, and it came on a like mashed potato bed with some spinach as well. And it had 2 different sauces. It was like one, I think it was like a garlic cream sauce.
I think it was a garlic cream sauce, and it looked like maybe some kind of like red wine reduction.
Yes, and they poured both of those over. The steak was good. It was cooked the way I asked. Very, very good all around.
Nice. I had the pepperdal pasta. And that had I think it was like a full lobster tail. I mean, it was like shelled and everything, but it had that. And then it also had some caviar and then some other like veggies and such like mixed in with the pasta and had a cream sauce. It was delicious. At this point, I was getting really full and I couldn't even finish it, and I felt very sad.
And then we just did one dessert. I did the limoncello tart, which was amazing. Like, totally blew me away. It was so good. I ate the whole thing. It was a big long tart, and then it came with like an assortment of some fresh berries, some edible flowers and stuff. I ate the whole plate.
Except the one bite that I had, but it was very good. I wasn't feeling dessert, so I got an espresso. It was perfect. They bring you several different types of sugars you can put in it. They ask you, they'll make it exactly how you want it, and it was perfect. Exactly what I needed. Just a lovely meal all around.
It was very nice.
I'm going to say again, the server was wonderful. He actually helped Lake find a red wine that he actually liked, which was amazing. I haven't been able to do that.
It was an awesome dinner.
Yep.
Would recommend Palo Dinner. I have never seen so many people or so many casted shutters, but I've probably also never walked by it on like the last night of a cruise. But I don't feel like you get, I mean, I guess if you intentionally got pictures like all cruise, at the end of a 3-night, I still don't feel like you would get all that many, but wow. There's like probably 10 cast members like all assisting people, and it's like every kiosk that's open has people at it.